Sanet Madonsela. As I told you, we might still have to go back there. Lots of political parties expected to ascend on the home. Sanet, just very quickly, you were telling me, was it a matter of really the principle of her being victimized, or that they have a common enemy in President Cyril Ramaphosa?
I think that, as I previously mentioned, I think it is a matter of having a common enemy in place, because when she was first proposed as the public protector, the DA was opposed to her, the EFF was opposed to her, the ANC had their own candidate in mind, which was Judge Desai, and the only people who actually wanted her to fill the position of public protector was actually the IFP in 2016.
All right. Tell me about, the voting in terms of ANC MPs. One particular MP not showing up, that is the Minister in the Presidency for Women and Children, Minister Nkosazana Zuma. A lot of people would say this is not the first time she's not towing the party line. We heard what Phemi Majodina was saying outside at the steps of Parliament about this particular minister. Why do you think Cyril Ramaphosa still keeps her around? She clearly doesn't, believe in his leadership style.
I think that President Ramaphosa has to keep Dr. Dlamini Zuma on the cards, because I think it's a matter of retaining KZN. I don't think that the president is very popular within KwaZulu-Natal, and I think that that's a way of keeping the constituency and not having the province be completely angry at him. I think that the removal of Dr. Dlamini Zuma would result in the votes going to other parties, such as the IFP, such as the EFF and others, and I don't think that's something that they want to risk in the run-up to the 2024 elections.
I mean, for instance, the EFF at some point, and I'm going back to my question a little earlier, the EFF has publicly said that she's a bad public protector, especially when she was investigating the Freda dairy farm and how she exonerated politicians such as Esma Khashule back then. And so now to come back and say this, this office now is at the risk of being very politicized.
I think that there is the risk of it being very politicized. If you look at the charges against her, it was for victimizing staff members, it was for misconduct and incompetence, and you would notice that the inquiry into her found her guilty, not only with regards to the Freda dairy farm, but also with regards to the Busasa funding, looking into President Ramaphosa's CR17, in terms of the bankrupt/EPSA bailout, in terms of the South African Revenue Services investigation. There was a number of issues, and there were a number of high-profile cases in which she didn't perform very well, and there were a number of indiscrepancies. So I think on merit, there were reasons to not have her as the public protector, but I also think that it is worth taking into considerations the political powers that be and how that would influence in terms of this decision.
A lot of people very surprised in terms of the voting of another MP, that is Supra Mahumapelo. Of course, during the time that Parliament was voting on whether or not it should adopt the report into Phala, he was one of the people who said it should be adopted. And now yesterday, a lot of people surprised at his decision to actually vote along the party line. What do you make of that? Is it a stomach thing, stomach politics?
I think that the ANC has been very clear in terms of its stance. I think that everybody was told that you either have to vote the party line and or there might be other decisions taken with regards to those individuals. So I don't think that a lot of the people voted per se on their conscience or the decision that they wanted to make, but I think that it was influenced by the party, and I think that the outcome was really surprising given the size of the ANC in terms of Parliament and the size that the other smaller political parties make out. So I think that this was basically just a matter of fact. It was going to happen. She was going to be removed with or without the other political parties.
All right, Sanet, thank you so much for your time and for your patience with regards to us having to just pause our interview. Thank you for your time. Sanet Madonsela, a political analyst, speaking to us there.